We'd like to start our parade every day with our national anthem, and we have this big, beautiful flag flying high in the air, the largest flying flag in the United States of America. And if you can, at this time, please rise and remove your hats while the I boys will be singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Dave Waters and Danny Berg, the I boys. And we want to thank all the men and women serving in our military here and throughout the world, so we get to do things like having a parade of tractors in Rantoul, because I guarantee you they're not having parades in North Korea. So we're going to have Chuck Smith lead our parade on Nora Forese's Farm All H, with the flag on the hood that's painted on the hood and the flag flying high right behind him. Yeah, just take your brakes off, Chuck. There you go. You're ready now. There we go, off like a herd of turtles. Here we go. Chuck Smith, Mayor Rantoul, driving Nora Forese's Farm All H right there. And then one reason why a lot of you folks are here today, we have Mr. Max Armstrong right here. This Week in Agribusiness. Give him a hand, folks. Max Armstrong right here. He takes time out every year to help us out at Penfield and at Rantoul when we have the show here. We really thank him. Thank you, Max. And then right behind Max, we got another beautiful 560, Chad Colby from over by Atlanta, Illinois, on Route 66. Chad Colby from Central Illinois Ag, one of our sponsors. They got tractors running around here, and we really appreciate all them tractors that we get to use. Now what we have here is the K Ranch. Harley Catching from Prophetstown up in the northwest part of the state. He's got this 2-ton delivery truck, and it's just like what his dad had, only it's not his dad's, except the doors are just like what his dad had. And his dad had a dump bed on his with a hoist. So he's got a bunch of them in the back. Wave at everybody, people. There you go. Give them the parade wave. There you go. Prophetstown, Illinois. Then we got Mr. Richard Oaken from up at Crescent City right here. He's driving this thing 1890-ish. Right there. That's what they put the fire out in 1890 right there. Only they didn't have a Farm All H in front of it. They had a couple of horses, and they had to go as fast as they could to that fire. Richard kind of helped us out with getting this fire brigade all together, and we really appreciate that, Richard. I like that umbrella. It's a good shade today, isn't it? Boy, that ding, 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 there we go. You could tell the fireman was coming, especially when them horses got in high gear. Oh, pick it up. 1956 International R185 come from Alexis, Illinois. That's where they put these fire trucks together over there by Galesburg, Illinois area. Fred Butt's driving this one from Crescent City also. Thank you, Fred. Fred and Richard both was responsible for getting these trucks here. Thank you, Fred. It was in the 1970 Crescent City fire. They had a great big fire up in Crescent City in 1970, and it just about wiped out the whole town, downtown there. Then we got this all-wheel drive International 1310. Mike Bushu's driving this one. Actually, owner is Mike Bushu. I'm sorry, we got somebody from Yorkville, Darren Bogan. 1971 1310 International, a little bit newer. Now that probably was for the brush fires and things like that. Then we got this 1934 Diamond T from Gridley, Illinois, up there on Route 24. Dave Roth is driving it. They bought this thing brand new up there at Gridley for $2,550. That wouldn't buy one hose today, probably. How about that? So you get to see some of the fire equipment that used to do it. We might have a little bit newer stuff coming through yet, too. Metamora, Illinois. Dick Riggert driving this one. Hey, he usually driving an Alice Chalmers crawler or something. 1963 R185 with Alexis fire equipment. It's a small town over there at Alexis, but they did a lot of fire trucks. Then all the way from Thomasboro, you can see the elevator from here. Jay Arnold's driving this one. We got Norm Meyer, Bruce Morphy's up there today, Merle Sage, Mike and Debbie Miller. Give them the parade wave, Merle. There you go. Everybody likes a fire truck. Then we got this 1989 Ford tanker, stub nose, the C series. Kenny Lentz is driving this one from Moments. Dick Marcotte, they wouldn't let you drive today, would they? You about tore it up yesterday. They wouldn't let you do it again. They're going to bring it back to Moments and say, Dick, you stay out of this thing. We want to keep it. Then we've got this 1932 Chevrolet home-built fire apparatus all the way from Sublet, which is a little bit north of Mendota. Don Dingus is driving it, and Don has helped us out with the fire brigade here too, trying to get some of this. Who you got there with you? Is that your buddy? That's the chief of Sublet Fire Department. Boy, he's wore to a frazzle, it looks to me. Then we got this 1961 International R185, also from Crescent City. Gary Storm is driving this one. All them things was outfitted. They had that front pump out there on the front. That's why that bumper sticks out so far. That's the fire pump right out there. And when they turn that on, you better hold on to the hose. Thank you very much, Gary. And then we got a 1937 Diamond T. Don Medlin from Charleston, originally purchased by the city of Mattoon, 1937 Diamond T. Then we've got this 1958 Ford Anarga up at Anarga, Illinois, up there on Route 45 right there, and that's kind of the go-to vehicle that you could kind of go to and have a little of the equipment in there. Give these folks a hand, folks, because this fire department stuff has really changed over the years, and we really appreciate all the volunteer fire people that help us out. You did write something, Sherry. She wrote a whole thing. She wrote Sherry. It just says Sherry. Sherry Schaefer's driving this one, folks. Now, a lot of you might get her magazine, but she drives for Heritage Iron and Oliver Heritage, so she stays busy writing magazines. But she is driving Bill Dietrich's 8960. Bill bought this thing brand new, brought it home, and put this Cat V12 in it. It's got 625 horsepower, and it's got enough fuel on it to run 24 hours a day. They was testing all the DMI equipment with that thing at that time. And this thing has over 10,000 hours on it right now, and it looks like it's brand new. 10,000 hours of torture, because they was trying to torture all that DMI equipment, so when they sold it new, we had a quality product. Right there, Bill Dietrich owns it, and he let Sherry Schaefer drive it. And I told her now, just because she's on a runway, she thinks she's going to take off with like a plane. So runway 18 is cleared for takeoff right now. Then we've got Mr. Larry Scott from Thomasboro driving Max Armstrong Super H. Now it says the model, but it actually is Champaign County Fair Queen, Miss Claire Smith, and we don't have Little Miss. What's Little Miss? Another card. Do you have another card?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that helps. Jordan Hutchinson from Fisher, and Claire is from St. Joe. How about that, Claire? Champaign County Fair Queen always has duties all year long, okay? Thank you for coming to Rantoul, and we just had the fair about a month ago, Dave. Hard to believe the fair's over. You had fun though, didn't you, Claire? Thank you. And then we got Blackjack right here. Jack McCabe. From North Lewisburg, Ohio. He built it himself. It's got 855 Cummins in it. Farm with it. 1967, so it is 50 years old. So that's something that was home built 50 years ago right there. That is quite the piece right there. And at that time, it would have been a real beast out in the field, I tell you. Thank you, Jack. From Ohio. Then we got another one from Iowa, Monticello, Iowa. Randy Tonjes driving this 1967 2510 diesel with that nice number 68 auger wagon. Boy, now you talk about two nice restored pieces right there with that roll guard, front weights, quick hitch. Boy, that is nice. From Monticello, Iowa. Another one from Monticello, Indiana, up there by Lake Schaefer. 1967 1206, another one 50 years old right there. Don Wright, narrow front end, got the M&W oil pan, highly sought after M&W oil pan for internationals. Now, we got Gary Sage's tractor, but you got a hired driver out there. Jerry Evans driving this thing, and it has the King Brothers turbo kit on it. King Brothers down in Arcola, Illinois at that time was putting turbos on these 806s because they had them on the TD15 crawlers, and they thought they'd work good on a tractor. Thank you, Jerry. Driving Gary Sage's 806, and Gary Sage is waiting for a heart transplant up at Loyola Hospital. He's been up there 70-some days waiting. Yes. And Jerry's been helping Gary a lot the last couple years. Oh, now Bob Duvall's got a hired driver here now, by golly. Landon's driving this one. And the reason Bob brought this thing, because they bought this thing brand new, and Bob got to drive it brand new. When it come out, Bob drove that thing. He was the first one to drive it. Even his dad didn't get to drive it. So Bob gets to drive it. Now he got Landon driving it. Thank you, Landon. Good job there, buddy. Nice tractor, a nice original tractor. It's just well kept when you see something that nice, 50 years old and that nice. That is a dandy. Thank you, Bob. And then from Gibson City, we got Ronnie back here. Ronnie's driving a G900, come out in 1967. Just a little bit smaller than a G1000, but a lot of the parts interchanged, but not everything. Had a little bit smaller motor, 425 instead of a 504, a few things like that. Then we got another one right here, another 1967, Larry Latke from New London, Wisconsin. Larry's driving it on a U302, Super U302. Boy, that's a dandy too. 5-speed with the torque amplifier. That is a dandy. Power yellow U302. And then we got this Super 55 from Decatur. He's going to drive this thing over to the Farm Progress Show Monday afternoon so he can be there first thing Tuesday morning. Mark Snook with this Super 55. Super 55 with backseat drivers telling him which way to go. He knows all about it. Then we got this 1971 John Deere 4320, Randy Glingle from Bremen, Indiana. Randy's driving it, 4320. Now you got them suitcase weights hanging on the belly there. That ain't the way it come out, but I think it's been down the track a time or two. That's what I think.
I understand they took a school bus down the track last night.
Ain't that something? You never know. Like I say, I think 4 years ago they took a hearse down the track.
Yeah, it's the same duo, I understand.
I bet it was, but I don't know if anybody was in the hearse. I don't know if they was making a delivery or what.
No.
Rick Brunton right here.
Yeah, from Rensselaer, Indiana. Original family-owned tractor, has approximately 20,000 hours on it. 1964 4020, souped up.
Souped up and chromed up.
With Firestone tires.
Yes, sir.
My 560 will be headed to the Farm Progress Show, over to the Firestone exhibit. I'm not driving it all the way over there.
You're not. You're going to have JC bring it. Then we got this 1969 4520 Harold McQueen from Mantino.
Hello, Harold.
He put Sarasota. I don't know where you spend most of your time, Sarasota or Mantino. Half and half. 4520. Now, has that still got the original engine, or has it got the 4620? I couldn't tell from this side.
Man,
4520.
You see, he's put those shucks on now.
Yeah.
On there for effect. You think he really plowed with it?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Ron Fix from Ankeny, Iowa. Ron, thank you for bringing the 4620, made in 1972. It's got the power shift. And 618s pulled behind it there. And his comments, quote, and I quote, best show on earth.
There you go.
Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation.
Well, like I say, since Ringley, Barnum, and Bailey ain't doing it, we got the greatest show on earth then, right, Max?
When are we going to shoot the guy out of the cannon?
Craig Smith right here, Greentown, Indiana. Caden's driving it. It's the 5th owner, never been more than 30 miles from where it was bought new, pulling that 565 Oliver 316 plow. How about that? Now we got another one that's been in the field, Max.
Oh, yeah, the Tordai family, they've been here every year. We've gotten to watch them grow up. Their mom and dad are very justifiably proud of that crew.
Are they still eating that ice cream?
They're still eating the ice cream.
If they have them souvenir books, you could see their picture in the ice cream parlor there.
If we had ice cream here right now, Drew would be having a good bite of it on that real nice looking 615 combine made in 1970. And of course, they're supportive of the Will County Threshers Association, another great show that we have in the summertime. They're from Earlville, originally farmed in Will County and then moved over to the Earlville area.
Now what we have here is Gene Shoup's creation right here, the way it looks to me. We got, it says the model, or the make is one young girl, the model is one of a kind, the owner is a self owner, The hometown is Bradley, Illinois. The driver is Alice Shoup with her sister Leona, and it's got them NDY stalk choppers. The NDY stands for Not Dead Yet. And speaking of,
we needed additional proof. Here's Mr. Shoup.
there he is, right there, Gene Shoup, right there. Now he's got to have a trick because he got them ears of corn coming out, and they're hanging in midair, Max.
Do you think they'll get more valuable as they hang there? Well, the market he's waiting for the market to go up. That's why those are hanging there, coming out of the snout.
They might hang there a while then, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a D17 that Gene has there, 1957. Gene is from up in that Bondfield area, just a pickin', and grinning.
There you go, one of our great sponsors. Then we got this 1969 Oliver 2150. Larry Duda owns it, and Tom Wendler is driving that 2150 Oliver. Got that Hercules motor in there, front wheel assist, fender fuel tanks, ready to go to the field, but he's got it all painted. I bet he don't. He'd ruin the paint job.
I don't think that'll see the field.
Boy, that paint is nice, though. That is pretty.
That's really a rich green.
It is. Meadow green and clover white. That's what the Oliver colors are. Meadow green and clover white.
Weren't there two shades of green, though? Wasn't just one green.
When they made the 880, they made a mist green at the time.
I thought
they
so.
tried something
I'm
different.
surprised you didn't volunteer that to begin with. And here's the 1972 Oliver 1855. Roger Newell from Williamsfield has this. And that is mighty fine also, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Boy, you can comb your hair in that thing. Fender fuel tanks on
They
the
really
front
they make a nice pair, don't they?
Yes, they do. Speaking of a nice pair, we got 3 pairs of jugs on this thing. Craig Stoutler from Covington, farm big with this G706 Minneapolis Moline diesel. 504 cubic inches under the hood on that thing, Max. There was so much cubic inch they had to put the air cleaner outside. That's how big that motor is.
Once again, the encyclopedia of old tractors, Mr. Russell Boer. Here's an H coming our way, a 1946 H, Don and Mary Garvin. And this tractor is from Morocco, Indiana. That's zip code 47963.
So would Bob Hope be on the road to Morocco sometime, or how was that? Bob Hope and Big Crosby on the road to Morocco.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Indiana.
I don't think so either.
Here comes
Mike. Who is this guy all the way from Michigan, McBain, Michigan?
I just wonder where all that under apparel came from.
Well, his wife gave him everything on that truck, and then she kicked him out. She said, "There you go, Ike. Does the horn work in there yet, Ike?" No. Boy, he's got it all, though, back. Whatever you need. Oh, speaking of whatever you need.
Beefy, how are you, rascal? Good to see you, sir.
Got that M&W hitch on there. Art Warsaw and Elmo Miner back in the day come up with all kinds of things for farm all H's and M's, and that was one of the creations they come up with. And Beefy grew up a little bit away from Elmo Miner at that time up there in the Anchor area, and really, did Ike quit? His wife didn't give him no gas.
Well, the sign on the back says stop, so that's why Beefy
stopped.
We may have to do a little detour around Ike, or maybe we can get enough guys to push him off to the side. I bet we can do that.
I bet we could.
No, Ike heard
he got the thing going.
He's just fooling with us. That's part of the act, Russell. Too bad Ike didn't tell us.
1950 Custom Model B Alex Prushel from Hamilton, Ohio. Those things were made in Shelbyville, Indiana at one time.
Really?
Yes, they was. Has a Chrysler 6-cylinder in them. Quite the sweet music, and they had a fast road gear. I was always impressed with fast road gears, Max.
Here's your doodle bug, Russell. 1930 Barnyard Special with an A front end and a Model T truck rear end. Reggie and Marcia Cooten from up at Custer Park. Plenty of parts behind the barn, a buggy seat, a manure spreader, tires, it's all there. Thanks for bringing it. A hunk and a horn too. And Old Glory, everything looks
There
better
you
with
go,
the
it
stars and
does.
stripes on it.
Here we got a 1936. Boy, we moved up when we got this thing. We got that flathead V8 in there, probably that 85 horse, the flathead V8. School bus front end, Kevin McMath from Clinton. It was in progress right there. That is nice. I like that. They even got fenders on the back wheels there, Max. That's kind of nice. Ford fender. Ford took them off his 9N Ford, what he did.
And that was on our tractor ride the other day, Russell?
Was it? It might have been.
It had a placard on the front.
There you go.
Look at this great Massey Ferguson Gary Bond has. Gary brought it down from Fountain City, Wisconsin. 222 cylinder diesel. Oh, you can hear that diesel purring. Made in 1980. He found it in a barn and restored it. Thank you, sir. Complete with horn.
Horns and mirrors.
And photog on the back. Look at those. There, it was, photo op.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Hey, the Williamses, Middlebury, Indiana. Great, great story behind this
Purchased
truck.
new by his father in 1953. He's got only 40,000 miles on that thing, Max.
And the story, David and Gina were telling me yesterday, it had been operated by a furniture store in Middlebury, Indiana. Dave, thanks a lot for bringing it. You can make your way on down the track, and I'll talk a little bit about it here. It came out of the furniture store, and his dad bought it, and it was only two miles from the grain elevator, so it was never a long haul to take grain to the elevator, and that's why the mileage stayed low on it. We're going to feature that one of these weeks on This Week in Agribusiness, a great story.
You got that one.
And Oliver, 1855, Thomas Family Farms, another Indiana tractor here, Brownsburg, Indiana. Jimmy and Preston Thomas on this. They are the second owners of the tractor. Look at that young man. He is in control. His hands are at the 10 and 2 positions. I want you all, those of you who drive with one finger, notice what this man is doing.
There you go.
10 and 2.
Take note. 1953 Farmall Super M. Joe and Hannah Cragen from Whiteland, Indiana. Hannah's driving it. Hannah is a 6-year kidney transplant recipient. Donate for life. Sign up to be an organ donor. Thank you, Hannah.
Yep. What a great message to share.
Yes,
Be an
thank
organ
you.
donor. Here's a John Deere, Clayton Allman from Greencastle, Indiana. Hello, Clayton. Look at him operate that hand clutch with a plumb. He's doing well. That's a John Deere B made in 1950.
Cyclone B. Then we got this 1969 John Deere 4020 of Mark Chapman over at Bondfield. Mark's driving it. He's been an exhibitor at all the half-century progress from 2003 on. He's been at every one.
We need to have a special ribbon for all of those who've been there from the original. Maybe we'll do that when we're
There you
doing the
go.
2021 show. Or
There
something.
you go. That sounds like a plan to me.
That would be the 10th show
Yes.
in 2021.
21. Because after 2020, we're seeing perfectly clear then. So in 2021, we can do something like that.
Here's the 1972 4020 all the way from Missouri, Oak Ridge. Stephen Beverly Schonoff on this. Thanks for coming. And wait a minute.
Oh, we got the Missouri folks back there.
They found their way to, you think they're going to be able to find their way back home? Yeah, you betcha. Thanks for coming, folks, from
You
the Show
bet.
Me State.
The Show Me State.
Oak Ridge, Missouri. I'm going to look that up on the map. You know, I still use a paper map. I don't get lost going places like people who rely on their GPS do.
That's right. Once you see it on paper, you can put it in the computer up here, and then you got
follow
it.
up with the GPS.
There you go.
Yeah.
1967 International 1206, Colin Jones from Jacksonville, Illinois. Colin's driving it. Nice 1206.
It really is nice.
That
Nice
white
restoration.
paint, the way they, International, that's exactly the way they come out with all white wheels, white fenders, and that white grill.
Those 1206s are bringing pretty good prices now, aren't they,
Yeah,
Russell?
just because of what they look like, that color scheme. Hey, folks, give Autumn a hand. She's been bringing us our cards the last couple days. If
Thanks,
it ain't
Autumn.
volunteers like that, we can't do this. There you go. Thank you, Autumn.
Here's the rollover. Keith Hoover from Tipton, Indiana. Good to see you, sir. The 155 was the number on that rollover plow. 1975 Hydro 100. Keith is from over at Tipton.
Well, it's a unique all the way around with the rollover plow, front wheel assist, and a Hydro 100. I mean, there's a lot of combinations there, really.
Yeah.
All the way from Shannon, Mississippi, Bruce Sisk got this 1952 LA case, and with the case 4-bottom plow, he's been out plowing with it. Thank you, Bruce.
Notice how that tank stands out.
Yeah, he repainted that tank real nice. Now he'll finish the rest of the tractor, one piece at a time, like Johnny Cash, I bet.
One piece at a time. This is a special tractor, a Purple Heart H. It's a 1950 H. John Fulton from up at Herscher has this tractor. And with the stars and stripes flying on the front end and the Purple Heart emblem on the side, it's in tribute to all of our veterans. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
We can't say enough in terms of expressing our appreciation to our veterans and our active servicemen and women and their families. We should never forget them because many of them never sleep easy as long as their family members are in harm's way.
That's right. Never to be forgotten. Then we've got this 1961 Farmall 560 diesel, Jerry Long from Mantino. Jerry driving a 560 diesel, narrow front end, 2-point hitch. Got them nice 560 fenders on it.
There comes Mr. Long, our half-century of progress safety supervisor. Let's have a big round of applause for Craig Long, who has really helped out in helping bring the safety message to our operators. Craig, how many of you trained here during the show? North of 850, right? Close to 900, I think. Close to 900 stood over there in Hangar 2 while Craig Long talked about the importance of safe operation at the half-century of progress. Thanks again, Craig, for everything you've done. Craig's retired from the Kankakee County Sheriff's Department.
Then we've got this 1972 4320 of Bob Duvall's, and Evan Townsend's driving it. 4320, a little bit bigger than a 4020 and a little bit smaller than a 4620. It kind of fit right in the line up there.
Romney, Indiana. That's over there in that Tippecanoe, Montgomery County area, down 231.
You got it right
Thanks
there.
for bringing it over, guys. We appreciate it. Stop at the Beef House on the way home and get some of those doggone dinner rolls.
Doggone dinner roll. Boy, you're making me hungry, Max.
I'm begging for them. You know, next year they're going to have them out here.
Hey,
They're going to have them with jelly spread all over.
With that strawberry jam, a little of that butter kind of dripping down the side of your cheeks.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Wipe your chin.
Yes, sir. Here we go. No, you got this.
I got this one. 1972 4620. The Vault Farms from over in Tippecanoe County at Lafayette, Indiana. A real nice tractor. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
Wave.
The
Yes.
parade wave. There we go. Did you teach her that, Bob? Did you tell her how to do that? Boy, that is nice. Them big Firestone tires on there, that really looks like a monster, don't it?
Those duals cut a swath, don't they?
Yeah, 1959 John Deere 730 diesel. Electric start from Linden, Indiana. Ricky Martin is driving Barry Virgin's
Pull that throttle back.
730
Let's
diesel.
listen to it. Oh,
Listen to
yeah.
that 2-cylinder knock right there, that diesel knock. That is good. Electric start, though, not the pony motor.
Here's a John Deere 4000 diesel. Wayne Bringman from Colfax. So we've got a bunch of them from over in that same geography, that Tippecanoe County, Montgomery County area. This tractor made in 1971. Sam Simmons is driving Wayne's tractor. Oh, look at that tractor radio on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you never had it on the same channel your daddy had it on, did you?
We always had to change channels,
Uh-huh.
and he would chew me out for changing channels.
He didn't want to hear that that communist rock and roll
That
music.
rock and
coming in.
roll stuff, you bet. Now we got a 1963 4010, Dan and Marge Fridge from Crawfordsville.
It's
Over
really
there.
a pretty combination, isn't it, with the IH plow behind it?
Oh yeah,
That really, really is a nice combination.
4010 diesel, the
Really
first
looks
of the
nice.
Generation 1, they call it, Generation 1.
I think he plowed at least a round.
Yeah, he got her shined up.
Here's a 67 John Deere 4020 with a turbo power shift M&W. Dave and Joe Virgin from Linden, Indiana. Chuck Rosen is the driver of this tractor. That tractor's been doing a little bit of work. Hey, when we get a chance, we might mention tractor pull starts when?
4 o'clock, 4 o'clock tractor pull starts, ITPA tractor pull.
And Lord knows what will happen before it's done. And
Yeah, we might have another school bus go through the line. There we got this 1969 4520. Joe and Dave Virgin owns it, and Ron Hatke's driving it. 4520 synchro range. They could got a synchro range or power shift. You got them dual wheels all over it, front weights, ready to go.
Well, we mentioned the tractor pull. I tell you what, the Downs boys are worth the price of admission when they get tuned up over there.
Yeah, we got Dad, Art, and then we got the son, Carl. I was stepping on my cord there. So we got Art and Carl going over there today, and that should be quite the show.
Here's a real nice 1026. Dick Moran from Mantino has this tractor made in 1970. It was in a shed fire, and then it was restored into a tractor ride tractor. You bet. Look at that rider seat back there for the, quote, spousal unit, unquote.
And
Well,
it's a regular IH seat, too, nonetheless.
but look what he did with the platform on that, under
Yeah.
that seat. It really looks nice.
It is. That is equipped.
That's one of the nicer ride-along seats you'll ever see, complete with the stool. Everything but the refrigerator.
And over here, east of us, Thorntown, Indiana, Kyle Miller's driving 1967 1550 Oliver. Bought it brand new. Oliver 1550. That uh-oh.
The chickens are in the chicken yard.
The Reverend Rooster is holding court right now.
Somebody just laid an egg.
Now he's got something up his sleeve yet, I think. I don't know.
Look up there on that pan throttle. Right on top of the throttle.
Yeah, right on top. You got that chicken. Then you got the chicken riding on the corn picker.
I never considered the Super H as having a chicken roost on it, but it has one
but
now.
leave it the Reverend Rooster from over there in Deer Creek, Mackinac area.
Mynheer, the Bell City corn picker. Darius Harms named him Reverend Rooster. He says because he talked to Darius so nice.
Then we got this 1959 730 John Deere. Cashier's North Carolina, Tom Crawford. He's got a 3-bottom rollover plow. Boy, now, ain't
Tom,
that
thanks for
something?
bringing that up from
That is
North
nice.
Carolina.
Look at all them front weights on there, wide front end, 3-point hitch. That is nice.
My. Here's another John Deere, Ed Fritchell from Paxton, Illinois. This is a 730 made in 1959. Oh yeah, moving that throttle up a little bit.
730 gas. Boy, that's smooth running dual carburation there. Then we got the big boy right here, the John Deere 830, 1959. Ed Frichtel owns it, and Adam, his grandson, is driving it. 830 diesel. That was the big dog in the day for John Deere.
Yeah, it was.
474 cubic inches in 2 cylinders right there, Max.
Now, that's not a Wheatland with that kind of a fender, is it?
No, it was all that way. Every one was just like that.
This 4020 has come from Kentucky. 1972 John Deere. Edgar Hurst owns it. His son Bradley. Bradley's wife Linda. Up there on the fender. Millersburg, Kentucky. It's been repainted. It's got new tires. Oh, yeah, that's got new rubber on it. And 2,685 original hours.
Ain't that something? Low hour like that.
Thanks for bringing it up from Kentucky.
Then we got the 1971 John Deere 4020, Edgar Hurst from Millersburg, Kentucky. Edgar's driving this one himself. He's got it repainted, he's got new tires, but it's only got 2,918 original hours right there. 71 4020. Dual hydraulic, quick hitch, set up, ready to go.
There comes a 1967 4020. Lee Blind from Annapolis, Illinois owns it. Final year of payments. It's a 50-year loan at 12% interest.
And how many payments, 2 or 3?
Yeah, 50.
He'll get done this year, so then he can finish writing it off. The IRS won't bother him anymore.
I want his banker, huh?
I got a couple of bankers in the family.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, I don't think they'd stand for that.
I don't think so.
Hey, we got a 1947 Farmall M. Cassie Rader from Attica, Indiana. Cassie's driving this thing.
Look at that nice little wagon behind it there.
Yeah. Homemade.
Is it?
I'm sure it was.
Are you sure about that? I'm not.
No, you don't think so. Were you
I don't
around when
think
they
so.
made it? Right, the running gear's not,
yeah.
but the box, I think, looks like a kit to me. That could be a bird cell.
Bird cell running gear.
Yes,
wow.
that's probably right. Oh, he's even got a step on the back. How about that?
Well, it's not much of one.
Well, it come off a Model T, I believe.
Yeah.
Buggy, there you go.
You got to step high for that. Fat boy like me would have a little trouble with that. Here's a John Deere 620 made in 1957. Larry and Joe Hessinger from Pontiac own this nice looking tractor. Larry up there on the seat. From Pontiac, it's a good opportunity to remind folks, Russell, of the Pontiac Thresherman Show coming up, Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
Always a good show. A lot of nice people involved in that show.
Last year it got rained out totally.
That doesn't happen often.
No, it don't.
They
We hope they have a good show this year.
They have a nice parade through town, I believe,
Yes,
too.
they
The
do.
Thresherman's Parade, I've been in that a couple of years.
Right down US 66 or 1948 John Deere A right here. Zach Sampson's driving this one. It's in memory of Bob Cox right there. Cyclone A got a 3-point hitch on there. How about that?
1936B, owned by Zach and Elizabeth and Clarissa Sampson, and Elizabeth and Clarissa are right there. Yeah, you know, I want to take a nap like that too every now and then, you know what I mean, Russell? And certainly that tractor too is in memory of Bob Cox.
Then we've got a combine. I used to have one just like this, Max. A John Deere 7700 Turbo. The later edition was a Turbo edition. Hydrostatic from Loda, Illinois. Kyle and Emily's driving this one. It's a 1977. A 1978 would have been the last year for these. The 7700 Turbo. They was quite the combine in the day.
The dealer decal on that head said Heath and Son of Ashmore.
They had a Heath and Son in Ashmore and Monticello. They started out in Monticello, Illinois.
Really?
Yes. J.R. Heath, Monticello.
I think it's been upgraded. See the LED lights on the back there?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, they just
We're
snuck
safe.
those on
We could
there.
drive that thing 24 hours a day up and down the roads with all them lights.
Here's a 7520 all the way up from Carmi, Kent Williams. Down there with his 1973 7520. A lot of Williamses down in White County. Former agriculture director Bud Williams was from White County many years ago, back in the late 70s. Illinois agriculture director. There's a White County, Illinois, and a White County, Indiana, you know. Indiana's kind of different. They've got South Bend in the north and North Vernon in the south. French Lick isn't quite what you'd expect either.
Okay, we got a 1966 John Deere 2510 gas. Mark Redding from Burlington, Indiana. Mark's driving it. Got that single front wheel. That 2510 replaced the 2010, and they made a lot of improvements over the 2010 to the 2510, and they had a lot better tractor then. So have you been to French Lick, Indiana?
Yes.
I have too.
Quite a popular tourist attraction.
I wonder why.
Here's a 50-20 from Potomac, all the way from Potomac, Illinois. Nathan Elliott owns this tractor, driving the tractor. It's a 1994 tractor. Wow.
Hey, all the way from Ipava, Illinois, out west, we got Gail Rusa. Very rare tractor, really. A 656 utility diesel. If you've seen a 656 like that, usually it was gas, but that's a diesel right there. Boy, there's just not too many like that
I don't recall
around.
ever seeing one.
Power adjust wheels, just very rare tractor the way that thing's set up.
Here's a Case SC, made in 1953. Paul Hamrick from Spring Valley owns this tractor. It was his grandfather's tractor. That makes it very special. And man, what a great restoration in his honor. Body and paint by Benson Farms, Morris, Illinois. How's that for a
That was a
commercial?
good commercial.
I'm going to bill them for that.
Eagle hitch on the back.
He's got the Case shirt. Doggone it. He's Case. I wonder if the Case put out any underwear.
I bet they do today. 1957 Owls D17. Woods Gover's driving this from Stanford, Kentucky. Woods driving it, and Brian Gover's dad bought that brand new. Now, Woods, you still ain't shined up the plow. You're going to have to shine that plow up. Thank you, Woods.
Here comes the Walker lineup. Richard Walker's tractors. Great looking tractors that he has from Charlottesville, Indiana, over in the eastern part of the state of Indiana. This is a 1967 1206 and has 5,000 hours. And they restored it at Walker Farms 11 years ago.
And that's got a unique feature to it. It's got that belly fuel tank, and you don't see many of those. It's a factory international belly fuel tank.
And a red spinner knob.
Oh yeah, I gotta have that. Then we got this 1970 1456 Coy Winslow from Fairmount, Indiana. Coy's driving it. He restored it himself in 2010. See, he's also has that belly fuel tank and the M&W oil pan and the AM radio. I bet that's an international radio. It says IH on there the way it looks to me.
It looks like it, yeah.
I got one at home. That's why I thought it looked like it.
Fairmount, Indiana. That town ring a bell to you?
You have to jog
James,
my
wasn't
memory.
that James Dean's hometown?
Wasn't
he laid to rest over there?
That could all
Here's
be.
a Kentucky tractor from Flemingsburg, 1968, International 1266, D&H Farm. The owner of that 1256, Eric Balling, is driving it, restored by D&L Equipment, Kenseth, Iowa.
Boy, they put about 10 coats of paint on that thing,
Boy,
too.
didn't
That
they?
is nice. Then we got another one, a nice international white front end on this Farm All H of D&H Farm. Kathleen is driving this one. So that it's got the regular H muffler on there, H fenders. How about that? That thing is set up.
Every now and then when I talk to somebody about submitting their tractor to me for Max's Tractor Shed, they say, well, Max, we still use ours. And I say, that's no problem. Submit it anyway. This 50 with power steering, made by John Deere in 1955, is owned by Ian Moon from Jonesboro, Tennessee. And he says, oh, yeah, you bet, Max. It's still in use today.
All the way from Rankin, Illinois, we got Dean Blackford right here on his 1964 4020. It is a 64 because it got the fat inject. No, he's got the wrong motor in that one.
Uh-oh.
He got a combine motor in that.
Really? You caught him.
Oh, yeah. He changed motors on me. Dean Blackford, Rankin. Then we got another Blackford tractor, Max.
And he's on the seat of this one, a 1965 4020.
Got the original fuel filters on there. Got a turbocharger on there. How about that? Then we got a John Deere GW David Delp from Dover, Pennsylvania, 1953 G. Boy, he got a nice paint job on that one there too, Max.
Yeah,
That is nice. Factory fenders.
chrome
Three-point
stack.
hit, yeah.
And here's a Farmall standing tall, a 1975 International, 1568. Dwayne Cates owns it. Gary Green is driving it from over at Williamsburg. Wait a minute, it says Williamsburg, Indiana. He says, and I quote, "This show is absolutely amazing," unquote. Thank you.
Then we got a little bit different one again here, Max.
I'm telling you, this thing is all over the internet. They tweeted the heck out of this.
Well, it's very, very unique. Mark Buchanan from Herrick, Illinois, Mark's driving it, a 60-30 that he put a track system on. Boy, that is nice. No compaction there, a lot of traction. It was hard to get that thing stuck, but if you got it stuck, I'd hate to try to pull it out.
Notice
that
it's
is nice.
It is a 630T. You
Yes,
noticed that, right? Add that T.
60-30D.
You Alice Chalmers folks, we haven't left you out. Here comes one, an 8550 made in 1981. Steve Hamill at Champaign owns it. But it's not just the tractor that makes it special. That 2600 disc behind it is a 30-foot disc. It was new at the Farm Progress Show in 1983. Now, wait a minute. He says that Farm Progress Show was at Dewey. I thought it was at Fisher.
It was straight north of Dewey.
Yeah, but it was
It's
officially...
a Fisher address,
That's
but
what
it
I
was
thought.
nobody knew where Dewey was.
Uh-huh.
That's why they say Fisher, because it was straight north of Dewey.
Of course, all there is at Dewey is the elevator, right?
Basically, there's a bank and a post office and an elevator and about 5 houses.
I must have blinked when I went through Dewey.
Well, it's just off of 136 enough that you don't notice all them houses there. Then we got 1984 Alice 8050, also from the Hamill Farms. Kyle Hamill's driving this one. That's Steve Hamill's boy driving that 8050 Alice, the last of the Alices right there, the 8000 series.
Boy, that emblem on the hood really stands out, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Here's a Farm All In. Gilbert Forrest from Saybrook owns this, and it's a 1950M. Good late M in memory of Elmer Davis.
Got some M&W stuff on that, a live hydraulic and things like that. I can see it from here.
You would expect it, given
You
that
bet.
address. You would expect that.
You bet, right there at Saybrook. This is the Ferguson model F40 with that side mount baler. Richard Kimball from West Liberty, Ohio. Not the fugitive Richard Kimball, but this is Richard Kimball from West Liberty, Ohio. He makes that perfectly clear. He is not the fugitive.
I followed him to take some pictures yesterday, and he started to put a hay hook in my hand. That's when I backed away. I said, no.
Yeah, you're pretty good with that hay hook, though, Max.
Remember that year? What year was that? When I was on the
That was
hay
about
rack?
6 years ago.
Yeah, when I could do it.
Yeah.
Mike Spreen from Williams, Indiana, has this 1975 60-30.
He calls it chubby because of the tires.
Boy, there's a lot above the hood on that thing.
There's a lot of everything there. Man, that thing weighs a bunch, I bet. Here we got a 1972 John Deere 60-30. Brad Walk up there at Sigel. You go north of Sigel just a little bit and a little bit west, and then you go to Brad Walk's over there. First 60-30 built right there, number one, serial number one right there. And Brad's got a bunch of them over there. He's even got a few outside, but he keeps the good ones inside, don't you, Brad?
Did you notice his partner was nodding very enthusiastically there?
Yeah, she gets part of this too. She knows what's going on out in the shop.
As you can tell, it's a WA-17. There's no mistaking that when you see this. A 1969 John Deere from Waterloo, Wisconsin. This was one of only 32 ever built. Cyrus Wilkie and Jay Romack are up there.
Look what kind of hat he's got on though, Max. Look at that international hat.
Oh, yeah, he's got that.
Oh, yeah, driving a John Deere with the international hat. Boy, they really did a nice job restoring that, because the Wagner brothers made some of them, and then John Deere bought them, and that was the end of the Wagners.
There's a lot to restore on that tractor.
Yes.
My goodness.
And here we got Dustin Wilkie owns this one and driving this one. It's number 15 of 16 built, 1985, 7488. The last of the true internationals in 1985.
It looks like Snoopy. They called it Snoopy. Here's a 7288. This is C.A. Tesh from Brilliant, Wisconsin. John K. is the driver, I should say, and it's number 6 of 19 made. This was an 85, also late one, huh?
Yes, they only made them that 1 year, really, and they all had them same radial tires. That's when the radials really was just becoming popular.
They came out with a 2+2. What year? Was that 79 or 80?
78, 79, somewhere right in there, you bet. Case 970 right here. This is also from Wilkie's Classic Tractors in Waterloo, Wisconsin. Matthew Eilenfeld is driving this. It's a Wheatland model. Extra wide fenders, big rubber, very low production. Yeah, with them big wide fat fenders and fat tires, that's a Wheatland model, 970.
All the way from Thomasboro. You think he drove it up from Thomasboro?
He could drive it straight south of here and hit his house. Lester Walken right here.
1949B, but boy, that 2-row planter really sets it off nicely, doesn't it?
I bet he plants Beverly sweet corn with that every year. What do you think?
Uh-oh, I'm going to let you handle this, pal.
You will?
This is yours.
This is my tractor, Max. If I had my other tractor here, I could spell my whole name.
That's right.
This is a Russell, 1919, 1224 Russell, Gerald and Linker family. Steve Linker is driving it from Malden, Illinois. The only one that they know of that size right there. And it says right on there, it's the boss. I like that part of it too, Max. If I get home, I could be the boss, said.
You needed to have your Boer over here.
I do need to have my Boer tractor here.
You ought to photograph them together. That would be nice.
I did last year at Penfield.
Here's a 1206 Wheatland made in 1966. Tom and Chris Kay from Forestville, Wisconsin. That's zip code 54213. Tom is driving it. He used this tractor 17 years. And then he restored it, actually last year. Oh, he's got a name for it. He's nicknamed his tractor Big Bertha.
Big Bertha. We got them big Wheatland fenders and them big Wheatland tires, them 24.5, 32. And then we got Terry Wilson, Dale Simons driving this one. It's got a check wire planter. So you got the check wire on the middle of that thing right there. And it was just as good as GPS technology in that day, because you could plant straight and you could cross-check it. We got that patch of corn out there, Max, out on the north end there of sweet corn. It was planted with a check row planter like that, so that way it's all checked, so you could cultivate it both ways. Thank you, Dale. 1940 Model L pulling it.
Real nice Massey Ferguson coming up. Dennis Dittmer from Liberty, Illinois. Out there at Liberty brought this one in. 510 cubic inch engine. First V8 row crop tractor made. Huh.
Yes, it was.
You're verifying that.
Yeah. 1970, I believe, was the first year. Perkins V8, 540 cubic inch right there. Then we got this 1959 International 560. Larry Wilkie driving it. It's got the front wheel assist, front weights on it, dual wheels, 2-point hitch. Just about everything you could put on that thing is on there. Got the International turbocharger because the exhaust comes clear out the front of the hood. That was the turbocharger on a TD9 at that time.
Boy, how did you know that?
It's just in the computer up here. That's just, once it's in there, I can't get it out.
This is Kristen Gall's tractor. It's Shane Kroc on it with a custom engine in there, 9.0 liter V8. Was a 1206, now a 1208.
That's right. Added a couple cylinders.
Got that nice IH radio up there.
Yes, sir. Right there in front of him. 1953 Farmall Super Am right here of Jack Miller and Travis Miller. Travis is driving from Foosland.
That's a pretty restoration. In memory of his dad. Lubbers Farms, Monticello, Illinois. Jason is driving this 1206, made in 1967.
Open it one. I'll keep it. Just set it down right there. Thank you. Ice cold. Perfect. 1970 International. 856 also from Lubbers Farms. Kaylee's driving this one. When you're on I-72 going to Springfield, you go buy some of their stuff there at Cisco. Look on the north side of the road, they got a place over there. Ain't that right?
I just want to mention, Russell, Orion Samuelson, my buddy, will be here just about an hour. I'm going to have to head out, and we'll be over there 3 o'clock this afternoon, between 3 and 4.
How about that?
He's coming in an Air Orion. Here's a Ford 4000 made in the 1963. Ivel Ranson from Truro, Iowa. The first new tractor he bought in 1963. He is the first and last owner of that tractor. Very nice.
Nice 4000 diesel. And we got Danny Owens from over at Oakwood with his Oliver 88 Turbo 88 diesel. Danny added a turbo to that thing and kind of hid it under the hood. You don't even know it's there. He says it's an 88, but he got Super 88 side shields on it.
Look at this tractor. 1/3 scale. Case 1913. Jason Fox from Dewey. It's homemade, you bet it is. Look at the soot on there, his face and on his neck.
That's just when you're down in there amongst them, Max. You just get right down in there and get dirty.
Just shoot up amongst them.
That's right.
Somebody's got to get some relief.
Somebody's got to have some relief. Then we also have this Fox tractor right here. Larry Fox is driving it. Got this 1070 case, 1972. Also from Dewey, Illinois. Dewey.
We now know where Dewey is. If you didn't know before, you do now. John Deere 4020, Jordan and William Bell from Caledonia, Mississippi. Doggone it, all the way from Mississippi. This tractor made in 1968. Thanks for bringing it up. Charlie Bell is in the seat driving it. Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, you can make a point with that tractor.
Oh, but listen to that throaty roar coming from
Oh, you got that big chrome straight pipe.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of chrome straight pipe, Philip Bell, also from Caledonia, Mississippi. Carson driving it. 1956-70 LP gas.
And here's another LP. I've had a little LP of a different color, 450, made by International. It's a Farmall made in 1957. Hugh Forbes from Medea, Illinois, and that's a factory LP. Let there be no mistake about it. Factory. A lot of those tanks were made in Texas. There was a company in Texas that crafted those.
Here we got 1952 Farmall H. Paul and Shelby Suppy from Lowell, Indiana. How about that? 1952. Last year for the Model H till they went to the Super H in 1953, Max.
Yes, sir, for 2 years. 53 and 54. Talk to me about the attachment on the side here, Russell. Is that a...
That's a barbed wire roller upper.
Matt Wiegand owns this tractor at Metamora, and Logan Jail is driving it. Super MTA, made in 1954. That's pretty cool attachment on the side. I mean, that if you're going to roll up barbed wire, that's the way to do it.
Oh, yeah, you didn't have to wear them leather gloves then doing that and tear them all up.
Barbed wire, which came out of DeKalb, Illinois.
That's right. A 460 diesel right here. Also from Wilkie's classic tractors up there in Waterloo, Wisconsin. 1960, 460 diesel with a turbocharger. Got them big tires on there, them 18-438s.
You know what? I think he's got satellite radio on there.
He's got something on there. I see that too.
That souped up antenna, I think that's satellite radio, like in Sirius XM. Channel 147, rural radio. Here's a 1206 Bob and Rita Vantine from LaPorte, Indiana. Chris Headington is driving this. Tractor made in 1966. They're giving us a little feedback there, Russell. You need to, don't hold it.
I noticed that.
LaPorte, Indiana. A little pause in the action. Just a reminder of the tractor pull starting at 4.
Starting at 4.
Ori and Samuelson on stage with me, starting at 3 over at the entertainment tent. Is that what that's called?
Yes, the Premier Cooperative Entertainment Tent. The full name for that.
Yes, sir. We'll get that right.
Yes. And then we got Jerry McGee, 806, 1967, from Longview. Kent Jester driving that. 1967, come out with the alternator. The earlier ones all had generators. Okay, then we got the 1959 International 660 with the Elwood front end. Got the turbocharger on there. C.A. Tesh is driving this thing, a rare cast duals. Got the International turbocharger under, triple hydraulic, completely restored in memory of his friend Brandon Wilkie, who originally sold me the tractor. He's even got triple hydraulics on that thing. Boy, that is really something right there. It's about everything you could put on that thing also. Yep. Then right behind that we got this 1959 International 560 Wheatland. There's a little difference between the 560 and the 660. The 560 did not have planetaries. If you would have noticed on that 660, it had planetaries on the outboard part. The 560 does not. Basically, it's the same engine, same cubic inch, but the 660 had about 10 more horsepower rated. And that one right there, Mike Muller is driving that from Monticello, Iowa, with them big, wide Wheatland fenders. Then we got right here this 1066 yellow, also from Brillion, Wisconsin. Marcy Muller is driving that. She is from Monticello, Iowa, driving that 1973 1066 Industrial Hydro. Then we got another 1206, 1966 Quint and Bonnie Penn from Ewing, Missouri. Quint's driving it. North River Old Iron Club member over at Palmyra, Missouri, 1206. Then we got kind of a rare thing here. When Ford 6000s come out, they painted them red, and that's in 1961. And in 1962, they recalled all of them and they painted them blue and gray. And that's the way they come out in 1961, Selecto Speed. Then we got this Dave Blacktold tractor right here. Danny Coons got that something to do with that thing. Mike Onimus is driving it from Payson. 1150. Massive. Oh, then we got this truckload. We got just a little bit of everything on here now, folks. You get to see it all here. We got a Sears Roebuck. We got a Mayrath up there. Is that a Thiessen up there? And then we got the Intercontinental. We got a Porsche. We got a, I don't know if I can even say that one. Then we got that Avery, that Avery there on the bottom, that yellow one, that wide front end makes into a narrow front end even. The Brockway, we got that Sears up there with that Model A conversion. We got the Power Horse, a Farm Master, and an Empire. They call it an Empire because it was made in New York. Now you got it all right there, folks. Just a little bit of everything. And it's hard to find another one just like it, I'd say. Then we got this Christmas tree sprayer. What happened to your guy swinging there? Where'd he go? Mama took him. He wants a swinger. Somebody wants to do a little swinging. He's looking for a swinger. They sprayed Christmas trees with that Farmall B. Then we got this shop mule right here from Lewisport, Kentucky, Casey Emick. International shop mule right there. Go through a door real easy, I believe. John Deere 4320. Bob Kriblis from Potomac. Jonathan Lyons will be driving it. 4320. Then we got a model 210 Alice, 1971 land handler right there. Dave Appleton. Dave's driving that thing. Boy, that's got them nice decals, homemade decals. Those are nice. 210 Alice, 426 cubic inch, big dog at the time. Then we got the very first tractor in the United States built was a D19 diesel with a turbocharger. Come from the factory with a turbocharger. 1962. And then what we got right here, we got this Massey Ferguson Ducky Van der Heyden from Freedom, Wisconsin, home built with the 1855 garden tractors. Boy, that is sharp. Dual wheels, articulated. And then we got this 1974 International pickup truck, a Model 200, that's a 3/4 ton that way, 4-wheel drive. From Mansfield, Ohio, Dale Ray is driving that one. Got that Farmall Cub up in the back, ready to come to Rantoul, just like that. There you go. Then we got a feed mill right here. Now this is what they used to do. They'd come out to the farm and grind feed a lot of these places. This one come from Fredericktown, Ohio. Charlie's Ullman's driving it. Got that Meyer Sherman hammer mill on there. They'd come out and mix your feed the way you wanted it and grind it all up. Then we got this 1969 John Deere 4000. Ted Peterson's driving it. Not too many John Deere 4000s. They've only made them about 3 years. Very nice 4000 John Deere. Then we got a 1966 3020 right behind that. Also from Sharon, Wisconsin, Alan Reimer is driving this one. Ted and Julie Peterson own it. Oh, and then we got an orchard tractor, McCormick Deering 06. John Curtis owns it, come from the local orchard. They purchased it new in Mount Vernon, Ohio. Then we got a rear bird here. We got this 1954 Cockshut 40 diesel built for the Canadian Royal Air Force. Glenn Berry owns it. From Ottawa Lake, Michigan, Only 2 built for the Canadian Air Force that we know of, and that's where they was built, up in Canada, the Cockshuts. And then he's got that jet engine right there on the back, a TF-41 jet engine. Then we got this 1960 International Model 91 with the 227 Cornhead. Mark Dennis turns 360 degrees, just like a zero turn mower right there. There you go, look at there. You could almost get dizzy doing that, you know it. 1955 John Deere 60, Don Manahan from Mackinac.
He's been mowing a lot this week.
Yeah, he's been chopping stalks with that thing. Doing a good job out there. How about that? He says you can buy it if you want. You can have a lot of fun chopping stalks. Then we got this 1973 Massey Ferguson 1105 Kent Schaefer from Ferdinand, Indiana. Chad Schaefer driving it. 1105 Massey. Now right here, folks, we got Mr. Greg Solier, our local weatherman in charge of the weather today, right here. Greg Solier from This Week in Agribusiness, right here, driving the David Brown Purple Power 980 Select-O-Matic right there. Thank you, Greg. Greg Solier, give him a hand, folks. He's responsible for all this weather today, okay? Then we've got 1967 John Deere 4020 Ira Biggs. Ira's driving that 4020 with that 1-point ripper right there. Boy, now that would rip the ground. 1-point ripper. 1935 John Deere Unstyled A. John Barron from Hebron, Indiana. There's a Hebron, Indiana and a Hebron, Illinois. 1956 International W450 Bill Swope. Bill Swope, part of the International Club over there. Perrysburg, Ohio. Bill Swope. Thank you, Bill. In charge of a lot of the Red Power Roundups. '66 Minneapolis Moline G1000. Gary Nettleton from Saybrook. Isaac and Reese is driving that. 1966 had the brown belly. Then we've got this Nicole Renner from Belleville, restored by Jake Renner. 1973 4230 narrow front end. How about that? Then we got a 1206 here. 1967 Jake Renner, also from Belleville. So we got a green one and a red one to keep everybody happy. Then we got Mark Becker over here from Athens, Illinois, driving his G1000 Vista with some of the muscle tractors that was in Mark's display over there. American Muscle. Mark Becker is in charge of the American Muscle tractors over there. From Athens, Illinois. Then we got a Case 1030, also owned by Mark. We got Monty driving this one for Mark. 1965 Case 1030. Then we got from Ransom, Illinois, Ron Moore's driving Bergeson Farms. Alice Chalmers 220, 1972. Got the big 24.5 32 tires on it. No 3-point hits or nothing. Got that Wheatland style there. 1972 1468. John Fredrickson owns this tractor. Sam Peterson's driving it. He hauled all John's tractors. 1972, 1468. That is nice. Just the way they come out with them mufflers, just like that. Then we got this G1000 Vista LP. From Payne, Illinois, Preston's driving the Scott family. 68. Then we got a Ferguson right here, that utility. Jaden Turney from St. Paris, Ohio. That 1957 Ferguson. Then we got a John Deere G single front end, single wheel front end. John Deere G. Boy, you got a nice paint job on that baby too. John Deere G, 1948 GN they call it. Dave Nelson, New Haven, Missouri. With Hooley the Wonder Dog, D15. Now we got all the way from Wallace, Indiana, Chris Kuhn. He's got a little Alice. Sometimes he drives a D21, I think, but he's got that D15 Series 2 right there, 1966. Oh, now what do we got here? Randy Klutsky from Arizona. His dad, Marion, owns this tractor from Lafayette. Marion's in the Chevrolet behind you. That way he's keeping an eye on you, Randy. Got that Demco loader on that Model B Alice. Boy, that is a dandy. IB, I should say. Then we got Marion right there. Mary Klutsky, West Lafayette, Indiana. Do what? IB, that's what I said. IB. International. No. Industrial. I like your Chevrolet, though, Marion. That is nice. Boy, we're sleeping. That thing is so smooth and quiet. Steve Cosgray restored this tractor, is driving it by Leroy's oldest son. And he's got a great grandson, Grayson, right there, all the way from Buffalo, Indiana. Then we got now you don't see many of these, Dave. Minneapolis 110 garden tractor, made by Jacobson. That is a dandy with that front blade and all. That is original, 1968, also from Buffalo, Indiana. John Cheever driving that. And then we got John Baum from Appleton, Wisconsin, with his 1939 Sears Economy. Got that Model A engine on there. 1939. He's got 4 more of them here, just like it. And then we got all the way from Burton, Ohio, John Deere 2510, the Fairview farm. That thing was over at Grand Island, Nebraska, in that world's largest tractor parade. Oh, now, all the way from Golden, Illinois, Leapin' Leany makes its return. Leapin' Leany. The only reason them guys are in the, oh gee whiz, we shot him dead. Holy cow. Jay Enan's driving that thing, and them guys trust him to make a safe trip, and they just about shot him in the back. Thank you, Jay, all the way from Golden, Illinois, over there in Adams County. Then we've got Everett Hurt from Elwood, Illinois. He's got this 560 diesel that he, what does they pardon look, just from the field, that's what he's saying. 560 diesel right there. Everett always helping us out here with his 560. Then we got this co-op, B2 co-op from Evansville, Indiana, made by the Custom Manufacturing in Shelbyville, Wisconsin. Then we got this Alice Chalmers. Boy, now this is a dandy. Model 612 from Byron, Illinois, Andy Gustafson, 1918. Boy, they shot him again over there. I can smell the smoke, Dave. Jay Enan's shooting everybody. Farmall 100 right here. Paul Miller from Benton, Illinois. Paul's driving it, and we got Sawyer driving it, actually. Paul's just going along for the ride. 1955 International 100. Then we got this John Deere 4430 open station. Kent Miller from Lebanon, Indiana. Kent's driving that 1974 4430. Then we got 1971 4320, also owned by Bob Duvall. Tony Nelson will be driving this from Romney, Indiana. Been out to the field with this one. 4320, 1971. Thank you, Tony. Then we got the little Model C Alice. Randy Stolzer from St. Genevieve, Missouri. Gene is driving it. Since we've had the tractor, it's got the nickname the Pope Mobile. Now that looks like the Pope Mobile, don't it? Just kind of has that look. Here's the tractor we've been looking for right here. 1968 Alice D21, Randy Thobler, also from St. Genevieve, Missouri. Randy driving it. Thank you, Randy. Like I said, we like to do this every day, folks. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We hope everybody's having a good time. Enjoy yourself. We're going to have the Max and Orion shows coming up right away, and then we got field demonstrations. We got tractor pull after a bit at 4 o'clock. Stick around. We got all kinds of activities going on. Come back tomorrow. We're going to do this all over again.